This is a great day for Anne Arundel County. First of all, just welcome everyone that have come out tonight on a gorgeous afternoon. Let's give everyone to make this possible a big hand right now. I want to acknowledge, before we get started, I want to acknowledge a few of our elected officials here. Number one, we have our county executive, Steve Shue. We have County Councilman Derek Fink, County Councilman John Grasso, Delegate Nick Kipke, Councilman Chris Trombauer, Councilman Jerry Walker, and Councilman Pete Smith. Thank you for coming out. Just a little bit of history before we allow our county executive to take the podium. 408 years ago, right behind us, it's a historical moment. Captain John Smith came right by these waters in 1608. In 1899 through 1912, U.S. government Coastal Artillery Corps acquired Rock Point and developed a coastal defense fort known as Fort Smallwood to provide protection of the port of Baltimore for potential imperial nations. In 1927, Baltimore City purchased the property from the federal government. From 1927 until 1960, the park was operated by Baltimore City as a swimming beach and a park. In 2005, the county and city entered into a license agreement for the county to further renovate the park and operate it for 45 years with a 30-year renewal. In 2007, a master plan committee was formed, and we have our former county executive, John Leopold. Thank you for being here. Let's give him a hand for being here. Along with County Executive Laura Newman, and then finishing with the County Executive Steve Shue, we were able to see this beautiful boat ramp accomplished. Now put your hands together as we welcome up our County Executive, Stephen R. Shue.
Good afternoon, everybody. What a beautiful day in Anne Arundel County. Isn't this awesome? Yep. Rick already went through the various elected officials that have joined us today, but I'd like to thank them once again for turning out, particularly the councilmen who, because of their numbers present today, they're technically in session. So now's the time. If you want to pass legislation, now's your chance. We live in one of the most beautiful places on earth. Like many people as a kid, I didn't really appreciate it. Then I went away for college and jobs and stuff, came back, and realized, well, you know, this place is unbelievable. We have these incredible woodlands and parks, beautiful rivers and creeks all over this county, fabulous beaches, and yet, for many of our citizens, it's very hard to get to the water. It's very unusual. It's because of the history of how we developed as a community, but much of our waterfront is in private hands, and unless you happen to live in a water privileged community or a member of a boat club, something like that, it's not easy. And until now, there has not been a single county-owned boat ramp owned by Anne Arundel County. There are state and there are other city boat ramps, but as far as the county goes, there hasn't been a single place where a person could put their boat in the water. And that's why this project is so exciting, because it changes that. It begins to change that. This is the first of what I hope will be many ribbon cuttings like this. Our goal is to open a trailered boat ramp on the north and south shore of every major river in Anne Arundel County, so that all of our citizens, whether you live here in the eastern portion or you live out in the west, no matter where you live in this county, you'll be able to get your boat in the water and enjoy this wonderful recreational opportunity that we have in our part of the country. Now, this boat ramp effort is actually part of a broader initiative to allow our citizens to engage more regularly as part of the natural beauty of this county. We are expanding our network of bike trails. We are in development. Yeah, man. Hey, John. John Corrin runs our bicycle commission. More on that in a second, coincidentally enough. We're expanding those bike trails. We're also looking to expand our system of regional parks, including building a regional park in South County. We have a lot of kayak and canoe launches being developed all over this county. And as I said, trailer boat ramp at the north and south shore of every river in the county. all those taken together are designed to give our citizens more opportunities to interact with the environment and engage in the natural beauty of this area. Part of that effort is opening up more beaches to swimming. You ever wonder why so many Anne Arundel County parks are closed to swimming? You ever wonder about that?
Yes.
I always wondered about that. And it turned out there isn't any good reason. There's no good reason at all. So we're going to work to open up many of our beaches to swimming over the coming years, including this year. And I'm pleased to announce today that Fort Smallwood Park will be open for swimming this summer. Good stuff. And the reason we're able to do all these things, all these water access initiatives, is because the bay is cleaner today than it has been in more than half a century. You have to go back at least to the 1950s and maybe earlier than that to get to the level of cleanliness that we have in the bay today. It hit rock bottom with a Chesapeake Bay Foundation rating of 23 in 1983. Today it's up officially to 32, but early indicators for the next report card suggest that we're going to be somewhere in the 32, 33, 34 range. So the bay is getting healthier, and that's thanks to the efforts of so many of the people here. We're seeing it all bear fruit, and that's why we're all able to return to the water now after all these decades of having to lay back off the water. Now, many of these things we're doing that I mentioned, the bike initiative, the waterway access initiative, these all emerged as a result of citizen efforts, informal groups of citizens that came together and laid out these visions and plans for projects like this. I mentioned the Bicycle Commission. John Korn over there runs our Bicycle Commission. He's the mastermind behind the effort to expand our system of bike trails. He's a citizen. He's just an interested and engaged citizen. The same thing with this water access effort. All these water access initiatives emerged from a citizen effort called the Water Access Committee, led by Mike Lofton. That committee, is Mike here? Oh, great. Mike, raise your hand so we can see it. So Mike Lofton and his group years ago started really pushing county government, as I'm sure Mr. Leopold can attest, started really pushing county government to do things like this and to open the beaches and to let people have more kayak and canoe launches. And eventually we listened, and here we are today. And I just signed an executive order that transforms Mike's informal group into an official county-sanctioned Water Access Commission that will work closely with county government, the county council, and my office in the years to come to expand all of these wonderful programs. I believe very strongly that the more our citizens are engaged with the environment and all of our natural assets, the more they're going to become invested in it, the more they're going to care about it and want to take care of it. And that means, over the long run, the more we can do to engage our citizens with the water, the more we're going to have good environmental stewardship. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. I also want to thank Rick Anthony and his team. They work really, really hard to make this project happen, and many others that are yet to come. I've been informed that by Carolyn that my instructions are now to pull that blue thing off that rock. All right. It's exciting. Get ready.
Yeah, really.
Drum roll, Maestro. So in short, the plaque reads that this park is dedicated to the citizens of Anne Arundel County. Thanks again for being here.
Good afternoon, and what an absolute beautiful boat ramp here for the citizens of Pasadena. And I'm sorry? My name, I'm Derek Fink. I'm the councilman here in Pasadena. And I think it shows the importance and the significance of today's boat ramp because you got the entire county council here, all of which had a vote for this boat ramp several years ago when we passed it and put it into the budget, as well as the county executive at the time. This project has been over the span of 3 different county executives, 2 different councils, and it's going to make a major impact in Pasadena and the entire county. I'm excited because this is the first step in really improving the water access for this county, especially here in Pasadena, which I'm obviously extremely grateful for. I want to thank Larry Velton. During my campaign back in 2009 or 2010, I was door knocking. It was 118 degrees outside, and Larry got a hold on me outside. And we stood in his front yard. I think you were just getting off the water, actually. You and a friend were cleaning up the boat. And I made the mistake. I'm sorry. I came up and talked to Larry, and we stood outside for quite some time. And he talked about the importance of this boat ramp, and it really got it in my head. And I really pushed hard, made it a priority along with my fellow councilmen. And it's funny because Pete Smith showed up today. And Pete said, I wouldn't miss this. The fight that we had 4 years ago over this project, I wouldn't miss it for anything. So thank you, councilmen, for coming out to the district. I want to thank everyone for coming out here. I want to thank all the county executives that have made this a priority and made it a reality today. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Nick Kipke. I'm a state delegate that represents Pasadena, and I had the special privilege of riding my bike up Fort Smallwood Road when I was a kid, coming into this park and actually casting a fishing line right off of a pier that used to be here and has since been replaced. I'll tell you the truth, a rat stole my bait that day and I stopped coming, but I did ride my bike down here, and I just reflect back on when I was a teenager and how far this park has come. We all should have a tremendous amount of appreciation for the transformation that's happened here in Anne Arundel County on these grounds. It's really something to be celebrated when you consider the quality of life that each of us is able to obtain from our experience in and around the water here in Anne Arundel County. So, I don't know about you, but some of my best memories growing up have been certainly on a boat, fishing, or just hanging out in the sun, enjoying time with your family. And there's a lot of people who are going to be able to gain that experience in a much more convenient way because of this boat ramp. So for the leaders who have made this happen, on behalf of the citizens of this district, I want to thank you for your leadership and look forward to continuing to work with you to ensure that Anne Arundel County is certainly one of the best places in Maryland to live and to work and to play. So to the council, on behalf of the state delegation and to the county executive, thank you for your commitment to this park and ensuring it's really a wonderful place for the citizens of Pasadena and beyond. Thank you.
Just to echo a little bit of our elected officials' comments, nothing of this magnitude gets done without great partnerships. And we are very fortunate to have great partnerships with the state and the federal government in this project. We have here Bill Perry from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Through that grant, we were able to get $1.3 million in federal sports fishing restoration funds. So thank you, Bill. He's going to have some words shortly. We also have Joanne Throw, the Deputy Secretary of Department of Natural Resources, who contributed $1.5 million of program open space and $515 million in state waterway improvement funds. And if you could just be patient with me a little bit. There are far too many people that should at least be recognized here. So I want to recognize from DNR, Daryl Anthony, the Assistant Secretary is here. Daryl, you raise your hand, thank you. Hillary Bell, is Hillary here? Leland Carson, Carla Fleming, let's give them a hand. Lisa Gutierrez, Margaret Lasher, Mark O'Malley, Director of Boating Services, Don O'Neill, and Stephen Shaz. Thank you so much, DNR. Bill, come on up.
Thank you, Rick. This is a beautiful facility. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is thrilled to be a part of it. Thank you, Anne Arundel County and folks for inviting us. The access site we're celebrating today is a direct result of the Sport Fishing Restoration Fund, Sport Fish and Boating Restoration Fund, partnership between the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, state fish and wildlife agencies, fishing and boating industries, and sportsmen and women. Fort Smallwood Boat Ramp was also an opportunity for us to partner with the Department of Natural Resources, the county, and Maryland Historic Trust to provide a wonderful boating access opportunity while preserving important historic resources. Sport Fish and Boating Restoration Trust Fund is an enormous success. It's what we call a user pay public benefit program. Programs funded by excise taxes on fishing equipment, motorboat fuel, yacht import duties, and it provides benefits far beyond those communities. In its 75-year partnership, the program has contributed more than $14 billion for fish and wildlife conservation and public access to the lands and waters that support fish and wildlife, making it the most successful conservation program in U.S. history. Each year, the trust fund receives more than $400 million of its funding from excise on motorboat fuels. It's the source of funds for not only boat access sites like this one here, but for the Boating Infrastructure and Clean Vessel Act programs. Maryland DNR is a fantastic partner with us on those programs, and over the past 5 years has received over $4 million in awards from those programs. So again, thank you for inviting me today. This is a fabulous facility, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is proud to be a partner with you on these. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Joanne Throw, Deputy Secretary for Department of Natural Resources. How many of you here have a story about Fort Smallwood? Raise your hand. Okay. How about the fish? Yes? Yes, she's nodding her head. We've got to give credit to the fish. Happy to see you. Well, coming over here, I had the pleasure of driving with Daryl Anthony, who is way back there. He was already recognized Assistant Secretary for Department of Natural Resources. And he had so many great stories to share about what happened here growing up and visiting this park. An amazing transformation has just taken place over here, and I love the idea. As an open water swimmer, I love the idea that we'll soon be able to swim here beyond the boating. This is a great opportunity to show partnership. This was an amazing effort to get to this point, but the partnership that's happening here with the county, with local government, with the federal government, with state government, you think it's easy? Not always so easy. But it worked. It worked so well. And in fact, we've got so many people to show for it. We also have something unusual happening here in Anne Arundel County. Did you know that over 33,000 boats are registered in Anne Arundel County? And we've only got the 3 boat ramps right now. It's going to be a busy place. It's going to be an amazing place. And with that, Governor Hogan and on the behalf of Secretary Belton, we're thrilled to be part of this effort. It took a long time to get here, some might say a little longer than necessary, but here we are. Working with this partnership, it's a great example of what could happen in the past with the federal government. As was mentioned, we had an opportunity to nominate some for awards, prestigious awards, and this looks like an opportunity we will have to nominate another of our communities. Yes, he's nodding. Yes, we've got the support. So, as was mentioned, we have quite a bit of state funding that went into this project. We had $500,000 put in from the Waterway Improvement Fund, which most of you know is derived from boat registration and titling. We've invested here in Smallwood. We've also helped over 400 of those public boating access facilities across the state. We're thrilled with that we could be part of this effort. We've also put $270,000 in program open space to help with developing some of our boat ramp facilities here and protecting the harbor, but also adding another over $2 million in program open space to help with some of the facilities you see as you came into the entrance. We're honored and grateful to be part of this effort. This is the best example of where the state and federal partnership can begin with the local government. And what I want to make sure everybody realizes as they go down that ramp, you will see, remember, where your safety, your boating safety, because it's National Boating Safety Week, May 21st to 27th. So make sure every time you're out on the water, you wear your preserver. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, Anne Arundel County.
Last but not least, before we get to cut this ribbon, there are certain groups that have been very supportive to our department. I just want to acknowledge them. And first of all, from the County Executive's Office, we do thank CAO Mark Hartzell, Chief of Staff Diane Krogan, and Nancy Shrum. Thank you for coming out and supporting us here. I am not going to name each individual, but I would just like to name your firm and your program. If you wouldn't mind just raising your hands if you're a part of that. We have Human and Rhodey, who did the design. Are they here? Raise your hand. Well, let's give them a hand anyway. Andrews, Miller, and Associates. Anybody here from that? There they are in the back. Let's thank those gentlemen. Century Engineering. Are they here? All right. I think those are ones that provided the hats. Is that correct? All right. Thank you so much. I need one for this head. I will get one very shortly. We also have our county staff. I'm very fortunate to work with the great cabinet members. Department of Public Works, Chris Phipps and leading his crew. We thank you for all the work that you've done. Dan Kane with inspections and permits. Department of Aging. All of them have been very supportive of this program, so we thank you. And if you're here from another county agency, thank you for being a part of this. We also like to recognize our Rec Advisory Board. Very important group of citizen members led by Bud Duckett. Bud's here, I know, and if you're on the Rec Advisory Board, just raise your hand. They are very supportive in everything we do. We thank you for coming out here. We also have Office of Law, Lori Blair. I see you out there. Thank you so much. Her and Maddie Smith were very, very important. Is Maddie here too? Hi, Maddie. Thank you so much for all the work that you've done. Joanne Viennes out of Public Works right in front of me. Thank you so much for all the work that you've done here. Rajan, is he here? All right, raise your hand. There he is. Thank you so much for being here. We have Ted and Ethel Peebles from Pasadena Sports Fishermen. Are they here? Thank you. Thank you, Pasadena Sports Fishing. And if I missed anyone, I do apologize. Anybody else I missed, just raise your hand and we'll give you a hand anyway.
Water access.
All right, let's give him a hand. Thank you so much. At this time, we're going to ask all the dignitaries just to come over here to my right, and I'll turn it over to Colleen as she gets the ribbon and the scissors.